Hey, welcome everyone. I'm Richard Herskowitz, the artistic director of the Ashland Independent Film Festival. And with me here is the director of the film you just saw. The film Impact was directed by Jon Lang. Jon, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Um, well, I want to start. I know you are a maker of documentary films. You have a company called Storybox Pictures. Can you just say generally the kind of films you make and the kind of films you're interested in making?
Yeah, so Storybox started off with two documentaries that we started working on. They're just two good stories that happened to be going on at the same time. One was Impact, and I was very connected to that through my childhood. So it was a good story, and it needed to be told. And so it was a great opportunity to just jump in there and start filmmaking. The other one we're still working on. It's in post. It's about football, and it's actually another Medford story, but we've used those two documentaries to kind of start jumping in and exploring more. We've done some short films in different genres, but really looking to press in and do drama episodics.
Mhm.
Uh, so we're honing that in right now, but it's a long journey. So we're yeah.
So tell us about your history with Medford. You're from there.
Yes, yeah. So it's a funny little story. I actually lived in a house right where Troy's gym was. And so eventually they demolished it because they needed to. And they built like, some little buildings there. So I grew up on that street and then we moved across town and I met Troy at a different school. It's incredibly serendipitous that it kind of lined up that way. When he invited me over to the gym after we decided we'd start making a documentary together, he gave me the address and I didn't believe him. So that was interesting, kind of going back to my roots that way. But
Wow.
yeah, born and raised in Medford. I was born in Ashland, but raised in Medford. And after high school, went and traveled the world and got into filmmaking and just wanted to be able to tell stories. There's a sci-fi we filmed in over the last couple of years, and almost all of it was in Northern California and Southern Oregon because
Is
of the
that where
way
you're based now in California?
we were for a little bit. We're in Utah right now,
Mhm.
which we got ahead of the pandemic, and honestly, it was such a good move, and we didn't know how much that would benefit us until now. Looking back, we just got really lucky or blessed, however you want to look at that. So we're in Utah, but we do a lot of travel. We film wherever the stories are. Um, but yeah, we have a lot of connections in California. We go back for meetings whenever
Mhm.
we.
So tell us more about Troy's involvement in this. You say, I guess that you brought the project to him originally. Can you tell us more about the origins of this?
Yeah, so Troy and I, he was a year older than me. He was really good friends with my older brother. And so we went to elementary school together, and I was kind of a part of that beginning story or kind of like the middle section of the story. Then we went to different high schools and kind of went our separate ways for a long time. And one day I was just thinking, what happened to Troy Wachowski? Because I remember how talented he was. And I just looked him up on Facebook and called him, got his number, and we talked for it was about 4 hours, and this was probably back in 2015 or something like that. And it was just obvious that there was such a story there, and I had no idea at the time before the call that he had done so much and had gone so much further with his story. Because I just remember it getting pretty gnarly um, before we kind of got disconnected. And so yeah, so when we started talking about it, he was talking about other people that were interested in telling a story in a book that he's been writing. And I just told him point blank, hey, this is something I want to film. I don't know if it'll start off to be a one day, one weekend. Well, let's just film some stuff and do interviews. And it did start off as just one weekend of doing interviews and B-roll. And
How far
then
back was that? I'm just wondering how long ago did this begin?
I think that was either it was 2015 or 2016 is right in there. I have to look up the exact dates, but it was a while ago. And we weren't sure exactly how far to go with it. We didn't know if it was gonna be like a short of the week kind of short documentary, like 8 minutes. But I just felt like there's so much more. And as we learn more about Sebastian and Uriel and Austin Trout, like all these other side stories, we realized this is a bigger story than just what happened to Troy and what he did with it. It's now what's happening to the people that he's influenced. And yeah.
How did you approach those people, find them, and how did you choose the ones who were going to be your major characters in the film?
Right. A little bit of luck, but also Troy, we told him how we'd want that story to play out. We want to make sure that there's a resolution and that there's hope. Because some people's stories are continuing on and maybe in 5 years they get hopeful, but there were two kids, and that's why they're on the poster with their names. Sebastian and Uriel really surfaced as embodying what Troy was creating and taking it further. I mean, Uriel's amazing, and he's going to be an Olympian, I think, and he's going to be a pro boxer, and and he's gone through a lot. Sebastian's story, before I even met Uriel, Sebastian's story broke my heart. Like it broke my heart, and then it like inspired me. I mean, his level of Tourette's and anxiety, I've never met anyone with those types of afflictions. And seeing how boxing and God, I'm religious, I'm not trying to press that on anybody, but we've noticed one interesting thing, which you see at the end of the film. Sebastian, he knows he has a hard time stringing 2 to 3 words together, but when he talks about boxing and especially God, you would have no idea that he has Tourette's. Mm-hmm. It just blows my mind, and just we wanted to dig into that and just see what's going on, and now he's helping coaching and volunteering, and there's still more characters. There's so many other people in the film that are just inspiring. You realize there's like gold, a lot of places that you would just walk right by.
Yeah. So you were shooting for 2-3 years. About how long was?
It was like 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, we just kept going back for more, and we had more planned. Something interesting that Ron Howard says in his masterclass is your film will never be finished, but you do have to stop making it at some point. Mm-hmm. And so we had planned to go film with Austin, and because he's taking it down, in New Mexico and taking it further. But we realized we have a succinct story, and it was time to bookend it and start editing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what was the post-production like, gathering all your footage and shaping it into a film, finding the structure was,
it was hard. Definitely hard. It was good. It was a good process. I feel like we went through it. It was ebb and flow a little bit because we were so daunted. So Rachel is a co-director, co-producer, co-writer. She was the lead editor. I took a step back and was secondary editor. She's unavailable to be in this call right now, but she was a very driving force behind getting this finished. I was driving force of getting it started, and really she came through really hard at the end. So we would push and press and push, and we were running businesses at the same time and working, and then we kind of lose momentum. But we saw I feel like I'm just being an advertisement for masterclass. We saw Ken Burns' masterclass, and it really inspired us to just.
Those masterclasses are amazing. So
they are. Yeah, they are, and they like you watch one episode of something and it just sets you on fire and you go do stuff. Mm-hmm. And so we realized, my goodness, let's just finish this thing, please. Let's get it over with, so we could put it out there and accomplish something. So we just poured in, and it was a very long process because we were trying to, take it. And we started post-production even 4 years ago, kind of at the beginning. I got Troy's tapes from all his childhood, and we started converting, all sorts of styles of decks and tapes into digital, which was it was like video science that I felt like I was back in high school. So that was fun. And then that gave us a lot to work with as far as there's so much more of B-roll from his childhood. Yeah. So it's crazy. So it just kept going, I guess.
So what are your hopes for the film? Where do you see it going from here?
So the main goal was to get it to an audience where they would see it and be inspired to take steps to fix things that are broken in their lives or things that are broken in people's lives they know. I've had a lot of addiction run through my family, and it affected me pretty greatly seeing family members get into similar lifestyles as Troy, and then seeing them come back and seeing the hope. So ideally, we wanted to go on a big streaming site. We really wanted to have a pretty heavy festival circuit. We are still working through that. Oddly enough, we actually felt pretty compelled over the last few months to start our own video on demand platform, which is taking a very long time. And it's kind of been a pipe dream from years ago, but we actually think it's going to happen within the next few years. So this would ideally live there. But if Netflix calls me and they want to license it for a while, I would happily say that.
You'll be amenable. Can you tell us any news about what's going on with Troy and the Spartan Gym since the film?
Something that's stuck out is from what I've seen, him and I haven't been on the same kind of like connection as we were when we were filming as much, because we were just talking all the time. But they've been going through similar. There's a lot of businesses going through a global pandemic and shutdowns. I guess it's hard for me to truly see how things are going on in Oregon, because in Utah we're pretty opened up, but I know Oregon is definitely not. And so they've really been like having a hard time because kids can't get to work out, and then the gang life doesn't stop during a pandemic, but nonprofits do. And so the issue, I'm really not trying to get political in this, but they're struggling to help kids right now because they're not allowed to be open. And so that's kind of been it's killing me to watch.
Yeah. Okay, well, people should look us up. It's the Spartan Gym. You've just seen a lot about it, and really deserving of support. Troy isn't here right now, but this is just the first part of an interview series we're doing. That our teen press is a group of high schoolers in the community that are doing an interview with you and with Troy that we'll be posting on our YouTube page, on our website very soon. So look for that. And well, Jon, thank you so much for making this terrific film in our backyard, making it available to our festival.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Richard, for having us. And it's an honor to be a part of it. I think this festival is pretty cool, and I think the fact that it's where I was born and is where we made it is so exciting to us, and we're excited to get some press going. And Troy's he's a beast when it comes to doing his own PR, so he's already getting started, and we're really excited.
Great, thank you so much again.
Yes, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.